Heather Burns with us tonight. And again, you guys, this is just, Heather is someone I met through coaching. Steph met through coaching. None of us would have never known each other if it wasn't for this opportunity. And we've all become great friends. And Heather has helped me so much in my business, you know, talking to her and, you know, things that she doesn't even know, just inspiring me to keep going and things like that. So she is someone that, of course, I wanted to share her ways with you guys because she's amazing and her team's amazing. So without further ado, I am going to give Miss Heather the floor as soon as she's ready.
Wait, Heather, I'll see you in like 2 weeks?
Yeah, is that crazy?
Cannot wait.
3 weeks, right?
Yeah, weeks? I finally off the wait list over here.
And you're gonna go?
Yeah.
That's been planning for a month.
That is so exciting because I was talking to someone else who's not off the wait list and she's like, I'm not even going if I get off it. I'm like, really? So I know it's like last minute, but that's awesome. You were able to.
Oh yeah, I've been planning for it for months.
Thank you, Jen. That was so sweet of you. All the stuff that you said. That's crazy. I am just like you guys, really. Like, I know I remember getting on calls and feeling like, I don't know. We're all just people. So I'm going to keep it real tonight because I think I've definitely I've grown a lot in this business, especially over like the last 6 months, really. And I've been doing this for, I think this is my 22nd month. So I don't know if you guys, would it be beneficial to do just like a quick, like my story and then get into, okay, perfect. So for those of you that don't know me, like Jen said, we just met through coaching and really just getting involved in Team Resurrection's page. And I started out as a mom. I gained 60 pounds during my pregnancy, and I have struggled with my weight my whole life. So I never was truly healthy. And the tiniest I had ever been was right before I got pregnant, and it was right when I got married, but I was definitely not healthy. I was really thin, but I was going to bed at 8:30 and living off Starbucks. So I worked a ton, 50, 60 hours a week. My job was my life. I prided myself on being a workaholic. And then I got married. 8 weeks later, found out we were pregnant. Totally not planned. A huge shocker because we even talked about maybe not having kids because I was so obsessed with my career and going up the corporate ladder. So God doesn't make mistakes. I love my little guy more than anything. And so here I am, but I gained 60 pounds and I had done a Beachbody program like 3 years prior when I had met my husband and we were just dating. And I was like, oh, we're going on our first vacation together. I need to lose weight. And my coach at the time was like, who was also my roommate in college. So we were good friends. She was like, you'd be a great coach. And I laughed. I was like, yeah, right. That looks horrible. I would never post a before and after picture of myself. Like, who does that? I saw her stuff on social media. And I mean, I didn't think she was, I don't know. It was not my thing at all. Even though I was on social media all the time and I was active, it's just what she was doing did not look like something I would want to do. Let alone, I loved my job. I really did at the time. And I was doing very well. And so it just didn't really make sense to add something else to my plate. So I had great results at 21 Day Fix, and I just started sharing. So there was a little piece of me during my maternity leave that thought maybe I do not want to go back to work 50, 60 hours a week, because how do you do that and be a mom? And so I really struggled with that whole thing. Well, 2 weeks before going back to maternity leave, I was a mess. I cried every day. I get tears in my eyes thinking about it. I don't know if any of you are moms, but if you are, you probably know what I'm talking about. My whole life changed, and it just was, I don't want him to be in somebody else's care. I want to take care of him. But I still wanted something else. Being a stay-at-home mom I never wanted that. I've always liked to work. And so I had to go back to work financially because we are a dual income family. I don't know, most people are. And if you're not, you're probably living on a really tight budget. And I'm not willing to do that. So I went back to work and I cried pretty much every day for 10 months. I went back to a less than desirable work environment. It was just horrible. I'll spare you the details, but I basically just used all of that negativity to fuel my fire instead of turn it around and make myself depressed. My first year of being a mom was by far the hardest year of my life. I think being a mom alone, one thing, but building a business and hating my job and having to do it every day for 10 months, it was hell. It was horrible. And so I just turned it into something really positive, and I fired my boss. So I quit my full-time job last January. And so I've been a full-time coach for 1 whole year. And it was probably one of the scariest things I've ever done, quitting my job. Anyone, Jen, I know you know that. A couple of you, like, you know, it's a lot. It's a huge leap of faith. But then I just went full force with it. And so last year was a huge growing, even though I'd already done it for 1 year and I had a decent income, at least enough to quit my job, right? It was just, last year was a huge growth for me. So that's what I'm going to talk to you guys tonight about. Jen asked if I would talk to you about just being true to yourself, not comparing, and knowing your purpose in this business. So I actually did something, because I am a huge quotes freak. So quotes are like my thing that like keep me going all the time. And if you follow me on social media, you know that, because I post quotes all the time. And so I actually, while I was looking up a bunch of quotes to do, I just created a board on Pinterest for your team for this call specifically, so that I thought I could kind of refer back to those things. And then if you guys are just wanting to get inspiration again and thinking, oh man, like I'm having trouble, like I have tons of quotes for you guys. I just started pinning a bunch of stuff. So I'll share that with you guys in the link here, or in the chat. Hold on, let me find it so I can get on the same page. Okay. So I think my biggest thing over this last year, you know, when you get into this business, it is just really easy to, because we're told, and I'm sure, you know, you guys have been told, go find coaches who are successful and follow them, and see what they do, and you find things that they do that you like, that. And so I think that's a great idea. But I also think that can be really detrimental, because we are comparing our chapter 1 as this itty bitty baby coach to this person who is probably making 6 or 7 figures. Because, you know, a lot of times you're looking at the coaches who have big names in Beachbody. So first of all, I want you to just remember that the world is huge. Beachbody is like teeny tiny compared to the world. And so even though I think it's awesome that we have such amazing people that we can look up to, you know, it's really that whole being a big fish in a little pond. And I'm not, you know, downsizing that the people that are, you know, top 10 and all that aren't great people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there's a much bigger purpose, I hope, for each of you than to be number 1 in Beachbody. And so that was a huge thing that I kind of had to come to grips with last year. It was like, you know, what am I doing here? Am I doing this to impress people in Beachbody? Because guys, nobody knows what Emerald is. Nobody knows what Success Club is. Nobody knows what Diamond, 10-star, 15-star, whatever. Honestly, even as a new coach, I didn't even know what that stuff meant. I just knew that these people were getting recognized, and I thought it was really cool. And I was like, well, if they're going to do it, then I'm going to do it. So don't get so caught up in a popularity contest and comparing, oh, she had 100 likes on her picture to I had 10. We all started at the beginning. Melanie Mitro started as a new coach. Everybody on here has started as a new coach, as a team of 1. Even though you're a part of this team, you're still really starting your own team in a team of 1. But being true to yourself is definitely, I think, what I know we all say, like, you have to find, everybody is a health and fitness coach if you're a Beachbody coach. Everybody talks about health and fitness. You have to figure out what else you are. Like, what else do you offer? And that could very well be something very similar to some other people, because I know my team is full of a lot of moms. but that's just because I talk about being a mom, and I relate to moms, and a lot of women on my team have a really strong faith, and we talk about that. So there are certain things that your team is you're gonna find similar things, but there is something about you. You are the only you. You really, every single person on this call, you are so special in some way. And it's finding that and figuring out, how are you different than somebody else? Because we all talk about health and fitness. So you've got to figure out what you're about, what lights your fire, what do you get excited, what makes you get excited to talk to people about. Those are the things that you've got to be able to share and talk about consistently through social media. And you can be the ripest, juiciest peach in the world, and there's always going to be somebody who doesn't like peaches. Bye, Felicia. See you later. It's no big deal, guys, because I'm sure there's something that you don't like. When I see people posting certain things on social media and I'm like, ooh, I don't want to be friends with them. I'm not like, oh, I hate you or anything. It's just, I don't want to be friends with you. Like, I don't like your style. I don't like your attitude. Like, no harm, no foul, but I'm just not going to waste my time. People are going to say the same thing about you. People say the same thing about me. I have been unfriended. I have been blocked. I have been told by people like, wow, you're really active on social media. Well, you're following me then, aren't you? Did you like my last post? Did you like my last 3 posts, 5 posts? Which ones? What was your favorite? Well, I must be entertaining if you know. And you must be on social media a lot if you know that I posted 5 times today, right? So I'm just making money and you're not. But there are always going to be people who don't understand this journey because it is so unconventional. It's really different. What we do is different. I was that person who thought my coach was like a little weird. Because she kept posting all that stuff. But it's so hard because it's like once you're in and you really understand that this is so much more than a shake and a workout, you get it. And you want everyone else to get it. And so you just have to be true to who you are and not just like finding that thing about you, because anything about me is really not that different. It's just that I am so all about it all the time. But it's really just knowing why you do this. Why do you coach? And it's sorry, sidetracked. But you've got to give up on the idea that everyone's going to like you, that everyone's going to want to join you. I always throw this out there because I know a lot of new coaches, I think they get hung up on this, that, none of their friends or their family wants to join them. I have no friends on my team. My coaches are now my friends, right? I have not one of my best girlfriends that I was good friends with and still am good friends with that are on my team. Not one of them has bought Shakeology. Not one of them has bought a workout program. Nothing. And they know I do this. Trust me, they know I do this, right? I've invited them. I have no family. My mom is a discount coach, and I just made her a nice paycheck last week simply for being a discount coach as I'm building her business and my business under her. So, but she's not running the business. I think I have one other cousin who is a discount coach. That's it. So I know one of the things that people are like, well, I don't know enough people. Well, I know a lot of people, but those people didn't want to join me. So it's just you still being true to who you are and knowing that this works. You just have to do it. I'll go to the quotes page in a little bit because I'm just going to keep going here. But I think the biggest thing is not comparing, because if you are going to go to other people's pages and you are going to stalk them for a little bit, I totally think that's fine. But limit yourself to like 10 to 15 minutes a day. How many of you have extra time? Have like a lot of time to run this business? Yeah, no one, right? So why would you waste 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes stalking people on Facebook? The idea is that you grow a business that's thriving in an hour or 2 a day if you're limited of time. So obviously someone like myself is working on my business more than an hour a day, most days. But when I had a full-time job, I wasn't. It was like max like 2-3 hours. And that was me giving up a lot of sleep because I didn't have the time. I was working 9 hours. I got up early, worked out, did a little bit of business, and then I stayed up really late. So, if you're going to look at other people's stuff, that's totally fine. Limit it to like 10 to 15 minutes a day and get those ideas, screenshot them and move on. Don't you can get so wrapped up in how they worded things and it will eat you alive because I've done it. And oh my gosh, they have 200 and some likes on that. And well, I probably should have worded it that way. And I have wasted so much time trying to kind of duplicate something that somebody else did. And now I have unfollowed everybody that is like higher than I am, or that is somewhere where I really want to be. I have unfollowed all of them. And so I am just intentionally going to see their stuff for that 10 minutes, maybe just to get a little bit of like, okay, they're rocking. Like I saw that they just got a promotion and whatever. And let me just see like what they've been doing. But I barely do that at all anymore because that was eating me alive. It was just making me feel like I was a big turd because I wasn't rank advancing and I wasn't doing this and I wasn't doing that. It was just bad. So I have a ton of quotes for that. But once you are confident in who you are, it really doesn't matter like what other people are doing. And it really doesn't matter what other people think of you. And that is a journey, right? So I sit here today, like I really, and not that I don't care what anybody else thinks. Like I'm not like, I don't say that to be hoity-toity or whatever, but I really don't care what any single person thinks. I don't care. I care what I think. I care what God thinks. And I care what my husband thinks. That's it. That's it. I don't answer to anybody. And I am doing nothing wrong by sharing my journey, by turning my mess into a message, and hopefully inspiring and helping people. You are doing nothing wrong by sharing your journey and wanting to inspire people to be better. It doesn't mean they have to buy a challenge pack from you to inspire somebody. And I think that was something that I really grasped last year, that I got a lot of people to reach out to me for like all different reasons, like marriage, motherhood, faith, like all different stuff, whereas they didn't even buy a challenge pack for me. And I actually love that because that is like, I know that my being true to myself is not just about making a sale and getting somebody in my challenge group or recruiting a coach. Like I want, and this kind of brings it into my purpose. Your purpose for your business, at first my purpose was to supplement my income. And so when you get money, and I'm very money driven, so there's nothing wrong with that. If you're money driven, there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to have a purpose outside of money. And so I was a teacher, so I know what it's like to not make a ton of money and have that intrinsic, like you just feel good about what you do because you're making a difference. And I also know what it's like to make good money and really not feel like your job is doing any good for the world. You just made a nice paycheck. I think Beachbody is perfect because it is that perfect. I'm going to mute this person. Oh, I don't know if I can. It's just someone on the phone. Thanks. And so I think this is like the perfect balance of that. But you've got to figure out why you're coaching, more so than just to either make money or quit your job or to help people get healthy. Like that's what we all want to help people get healthy. But for me, it's taking it a step further. I am so much into the mind, body, soul, just becoming healthy mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and physically, of course, but that's like a given, right? So I'm in the middle of a life coaching course where I love the emotional side of this because I personally know that's where things change. And so I want to dig deeper with the people that I work with. And I'm not saying you have to go get another certification or do something else or whatever, but you've got to find what makes you tick in this business. Like what gets you like excited when your challengers or your coaches message you or somebody that you've been talking to says something to you. Like what is that? And then you need to do more of that. And for me, it's the emotional stuff that I get from people that tell me about how I've changed their lives. I have a document that I keep. When I get those feel good messages that I'm like blown away, and usually I'm like have tears in my eyes, and I'm reminded why I do this, I save all those in a document, because I promise you, you're going to have days where you want to quit. You're going to have days where you're super disappointed. You're going to have days where you just feel defeated. Everyone's saying no. Everyone's ignoring your messages. The 3 people you were counting on did not come through. Your coach quit. All of these things. There are days I am like so overwhelmed because I have 4,000 text messages. No, literally, I have 7,846 emails right now alone. And I just checked before we got on this call. I have like tons of Facebook messages. It's like on any given day, I have 30 Facebook messages every day. And so that's a lot to deal with. And then when you open those, some of them are awesome, and I copy paste those and remember this. And some of those are like, just, they're a beating. So keeping, just knowing why you do this and reminding yourself day in and day out, like, what are you here for? It's not just to make a paycheck. It can't be just to make a paycheck. It can't. That will not last. And I know that because I am money driven, and I've chased the paycheck for years, and I got the paycheck, but I was never fulfilled, ever. I actually am making less money right now than I have in previous careers. And so I am sneaking up on that, which is awesome. And I know I will totally surpass it eventually, but I am so much more fulfilled now because I wake up with a purpose. I wake up with a passion to help people truly change their lives, not to sell a shake, not to match them with the best workout program, but to help them find self-love and to their inner light, and then to let them go out and do that same thing. So let me go to this quotes page, because I'm kind of like all over the place, and that's normal. So let me share my screen with you guys. So I just kind of want to walk through some of these, because I thought some of them were like so good, and I thought there's like 50 some here, so we're not going to go through all of them. But I love this first one. Goal is to make an income while making an impact. I think that seriously was like, that should be our goal, is to make an income while making an impact. That's what we get to do. We have the best of both worlds as coaches, and we just have to unapologetically be us to go for that. I think so much of that comparing is that we want to be that person. And so I love this next quote. If you act the part and play the part, you'll get the part. If you act the part of a leader and you play the part of a leader, you'll get the part. And guys, let me just tell you, being a leader can be really lonely because you're leading from the front. And when you lead from the front, there is nobody next to you except people like Jen and Stephanie, the people that are by you that you know that, okay, like these people I can call out for support on more of a leadership level. But your team usually isn't the one right next to you. And if they are, there's a problem. You're not leading. And so act the part, play the part, you'll get the part. And there really is nothing, this business is all about confidence. It is about building yourself up. So that beauty tip, believe in yourself. Let me just go through and see. There were like so many as I was doing this that I just could talk about every single one for probably like 3 hours. But yeah, this goes, and it's just really, it's true. It does not matter how many people do what you do. There are over 4,000 coaches. And really, guys, 400,000. Not all 400,000 people are running the business, but there is not one person just like you. There's something different about you. Even if you feel in this sea of coaches that, you're all kind of the same, you have some similar things about you, but there is no one like you. So just be you. Oh, excuses are tacky. I can't even. I just, that one, we can leave that there. And then I love that your life, so many people, your life would be so different if you just chose confidence. Confidence is sexy. Confidence, people want that. There is something about that people see and they're like, I want what they have. And I know we have a guy in this call, so I don't want to leave it out. So I got to say, boss dude here is what we need to have. These all say boss babe, but you could totally apply this to yourself too. Yeah, and their word of advice, you don't need to see eye to eye with everyone. Some people are just not on your level and they will not understand, but that's okay. Like my friends and my girlfriends that I would love to be in this business, they don't want it. There's just something about it. They're just not on my level in that way. And you know, some of those friendships have gone, like I'm not really friends with some of those girls anymore, but I think that just goes to show that it's okay. You can outgrow people. And I think Beachbody is the perfect thing. It allows you to outgrow people because you're moving forward, and some people just get so complacent. Yeah, this was good. A woman who is hustling can never understand a woman who is hating. And so you can't worry about other people or what they're doing. Let me see if I can find a couple of the really good ones. Yeah, I just posted this before we got on the call. Stop worrying if other people like you. Do you like you? Because if you don't like you, who cares if everybody else likes you? If you're trying to be something that everyone else wants you to be, you're never going to get to where you truly are destined to be. Let's see. I'll share this pin with you. So that you guys can have all these. But yeah, this is just about, I love this one. And if you have a faith, you'll get this, but if not, but God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. It's like I am not any more special than anyone else. And so I'm not qualified to be a top whatever coach, but I think that God has a purpose for me being here, and he's qualifying me along the way. But there have been tons of failures, tons of struggles, tons of, days where of doubt. But I just keep going. So I'm not going to read all these to you. I totally could. And there were so many that I thought were awesome. But I could get lost in these all the time. But they all deal with either being true to yourself, not comparing, and knowing your purpose. Oh yeah, I love this one. The best advice I've ever received, no one else knows what they're doing either. You guys think that top coaches have all their stuff together, or maybe even someone like Jen or myself, like we have it all together. Trust me, we don't. We are just failing forward and just doing it. And my favorite quote is, do your best until you know better, and then do better. All you can do is your best. And then once you know how to do something a little bit better, then just do it better. Never admire someone else's beauty without questioning your own. It's so easy to look at someone else and think they have all their stuff together, but you have a lot to offer too, and you just have to really figure that out. Yeah, so I could read like all of these, but I don't want to spend the entire call reading quotes, so I'll stop sharing my thing. Here, I'm going to send this to you guys. There's the board. But I just can't tell you enough that I am no different than you guys. I just wanted it and I went for it. And so any of those other coaches that you look at, that you're following on social media, they're no different than you. They just wanted it and they went for it, and they didn't make excuses, and they found something that they were passionate about, that they were able to talk about every single day. And I know, like, I even now, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'm like struggling between like my business page and my personal page, because I'm like, where do I post? Do I post both places? Do I post, just my personal stuff here, and then like my business, who I want to be here? And I've kind of lost myself in trying to figure out that business over the last month, because I just started a course on it. And so I really just like prayed about it and was like, you know what? Just be you. Like all these things I'm telling you right now, like I felt like I was trying to be not trying, but I was feeling like I had to be two different people. And I had to remind myself of all of these things too. And so just know that everyone struggles with this stuff. You're no different. It's just working through it. And the mind is such a powerful thing. I posted a quote this morning that says, our thoughts are like trains. They take us places. If you guys think you can be a successful coach, you'll be a successful coach. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but you will be. If you think that you can't be a top 10 coach, you will never be a top 10 coach, ever. Your thoughts are so extremely powerful. And I'm not really into the new age thoughts process stuff. That's not my style. But I'm in a life coaching course right now, and it's like biblically based. And I'm not a holy roller either, guys. So please, I have drank, I have done all kinds of stuff. I know Jesus. So, it is so, our minds, like God created us that way, and we have to be able to block out the negative and just breathe in the positive things and live out those things. Because I did a video this morning about it too, that our thoughts become our actions. And so when we accept anything negative to come into our lives, we accept that negative, and it just replays over and over and over and over and over and over. The same thing with positive things, the same exact thing. And so you can get rid of and purge all the negative stuff and replace it with positive things, which is why it is so crucial that you are surrounding yourself with positive, like-minded, motivating, encouraging, inspiring people like I see on this call, and like you probably see on a lot of other people's social media and stuff. So positive thought and positive talk is absolutely necessary. Don't look at anyone and think that they don't. I have insecurities. I have days where I feel like I am, I see pudge or whatever. I'm in the best shape in my life right now, like ever. I had a baby and I can somewhat see abs. Like, I never thought I could do that. But you know why I never got that? Because I always said I could never do that. I always thought it was just my genetics. I always have struggled, and I would just never, ever see abs. And I'm a mom now. And so that's just not possible. Well, then I started saying, no, like you can totally do that, because if I see that they did it, so can I. I just got to figure it out. And guess what? I'm like seeing them now. It's really hard too, because that means no cheat meals. So anyone else doing Masters Hammer and Chisel? Oh my gosh, isn't it so amazing? I love it. It's like my favorite. I don't even know if I'll ever change. No, I will, but I'm not on the 22-minute hardcore whatever yet bandwagon. I just can't. I am loving on my Masters Hammer and Chisel. So, but you guys all are just special in your own way, and you just have to own that and know it. And don't worry what other people think. I, to this day, sometimes, I will say I have really upped my little social media game lately. I don't know, like it just seems like I have a ton of activity, and some of it is through me working at it and really being like strategic and trying to figure out like what to post. But for the most part, I feel like I built this up for almost 2 years, right? But then I'll get those days where I only get like 30 likes, and I'm like, oh, and then you feel like just a big loser, because you're like, well, what was wrong with that post? I like that post, and then I've thought about, should I take it down? Should I leave it? Self-doubt, it's in all of us, but just be you. And if you liked it, post it. Who cares if you have 30 likes or not? I will say, and I have to add this too, because we get so wrapped up in how much activity do we have on social media and how many likes and how many comments. The magic happens in closed conversations, behind the door relationships. So I will tell you, I just got invited today in a relationship to a 21-day accountability group. Excuse me. Did you look at my Facebook page? I mean, maybe I don't give the impression that I am a Beachbody coach, because I really don't use the word Beachbody a lot on my social media. But my very last post was talking about the fact that my team really had an awesome rank, which I haven't told them yet, so I can't tell you either. But are you kidding me? Like, why did you invite me to a 21-day challenge accountability group for fitness and motivation support? Do you want me to? I should have sent her a picture of my abs. I should have been like, no, thank you. So I politely wrote back, and I just said, you apparently didn't take the time to look at my social media, or you would have seen I am a coach. Winky face. And then she was like, haha, it's hard when you have over 900 friends. Yeah, I have over 2,000. I understand. And I said, yeah. And she's like, it's hard when you have 200 friends and you don't have time. Excuses are tacky, right? I just said, excuses are tacky. Don't even. And I get it. We all make mistakes, especially as new coaches. So I'm giving her grace, but I was actually nice to politely write back. I actually wrote something really long and erased it, because I am usually don't think about what I say. I just say it. And I was like, no, be nice to her, because I don't want her to like ruin her coaching career. She can totally turn this ship around and do this right. So I just said, can I please give you a couple tips if you wouldn't mind? And she didn't say yes, but I gave them to her. And I just said, it would have been really nice if you would have like looked at my page and got to know me a little bit and build a relationship with me, because I can tell you that I can pretty much guarantee you have not been very successful with these blind, impersonal messages. And I said, so my tip is get to know people before you invite them to your challenge group. I'm not saying that cold invites don't work. It's not my style. I don't do them ever. But unless you liked a post of mine that was specifically like, hey, you want to do this? I am all about building relationships. So social media, we get so caught up in that stuff and like having all this following and having, so many likes. I remember the first time I broke like a triple digit and I was like, George, like, honey, look, we got 100 likes. I mean, that's so stupid. Seriously. But I did. And I still get excited to this day. Like, I think one post the other day was like over 300, and that's the highest I've ever had. But I look at Lindsay Matway and it's over 1,000, right? For like one little post of her daughter. Not that her daughter's not precious, but it's like, really? That didn't really take much thought. And I put a lot of thought into that other post. But it's just how it is. So just know that the meat of what we do is in relationships with people. And when you're true to yourself, you are you and you want to help people, hopefully, whatever that is. And it's obviously getting healthy, but whatever that is, just build relationships with people and the success will follow. I talk a little bit about like this last year was a huge pill for me to swallow. I got my husband a 2-star diamond and I was still 1-star diamond. Yeah, huge, horrible, like really, well, what happened was I had discount coaches. Well, I got to diamond, and so I wanted to build him to diamond. So I built him to diamond through discount coaches. And then 2 of my discount coaches took off and became diamonds. So in my business, I had like enough points to be elite and premier, but I didn't have the diamonds in my business. And so it was that whole like big pride pill to swallow, and just to, regroup and say, I'm still helping people. Maybe he got the invitation to go to California's leadership and I didn't. And I tried to see if I could go in his place and they wouldn't let me. So that sucks, and I could have at that point thought, like whatever. And that's not the end of the world. But I just had to keep coming back to the fact that, you know what, I know my purpose here, and my purpose is not to be, and if your goal is ever to be like like top 10 coach or whatever, I think that's awesome. If I get there, totally cool. But that's not my goal. It's really not. My goal is to make money so that I can retire my husband. And so we can live a life of true freedom. I don't know about you guys, but being a stay-at-home, work-from-home mom is hard. It's really hard. This last year has been huge for me. Going from, corporate girl to then wanting to be a stay-at-home mom and then realizing, oh, stay-at-home mom is not really what I want either. I want daddy to be home with mama so that we can both like rock this, and just having him home is easier. I just like breathe finally as soon as he walks through the door. I'm just like, oh, you're here. Thank goodness. 'Cause it's been a long day. I need to go to Target. And my goal is to retire my husband. I don't care if I'm top 10 or not. I just want to make enough money to supplement both of our incomes and have him home. Another thing, and it's not really on the topic either, but rank and income are 2 different things. And that is really what I learned this last year. And I had heard that before, and I listened to an awesome call, and I'm sure Jen has it, but if not, I can give it to you guys. Rank and title are one thing. That's kind of like your bragging rights. So like last year, I looked like a big turd because I'm 1-star diamond. And technically to this day, I'm 2-star qualifying right now. One of my coaches went diamond last week. But my husband's, it has a higher thing than me, but my business is making more money than his, right? Same with other coaches. Somebody can be 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, whatever. You can still make more money than them. And so if you are title driven, which I am a little bit because I am competitive, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think it's awesome to go for top 10. One of my success partners is going for top 10 this year. Awesome. She asked me if I was, and I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just going for X amount of dollars, honey. And if I get to 10-star or whatever in the meantime, okay, let's do it. But just don't get it twisted that somebody is at whatever diamond and you are at whatever and they're better than you or they're making more money than you or whatever. Not the case. It's really not. So volume is your money, which is where you need to find working coaches. And they're the hardest coaches to find. They're hard. I have over 100 personally sponsored coaches. I personally sponsored over like 70 some last year. And did I not just tell you that I had one diamond in my business? And guess who that diamond was? My husband, who I built a diamond. Yeah. So, you just have to keep recruiting, keep finding the people who are passionate about the business, but don't get it twisted that a 5-star diamond, 10-star, whatever is, and now granted, a 10-star diamond is making more money than a diamond coach. Yes, they kind of go hand in hand because they collide at some point. You can make 6 figures at diamond because you can cycle bonus $2,000 a week. So, so just think about that. So you might not look cool in Beachbody. You might be like a little fish in a little pond. That's what I felt like last year. A little fish in a little pond. But you know what? I am still home. And I told my sponsor coach, Danielle, I'm like, you know what? Even though this really sucks, I did all kinds of incentives to try to get my team to like go, because I have a lot of coaches who want to be a diamond. And so it wasn't that they didn't want it. It just didn't work out. But you know what? I have to remind myself, I am home with my son, or I'm at the park on a random Tuesday at 11 o'clock. I'm not sitting at a desk. I am not miserable in my job. I can go grocery shopping during the week and not fight weekend crowds. I had an extra $1,000 to put toward credit card debt because I made that. And so you just have to really figure out what you want out of this business and go for it. So I'm going to stop talking and see if any of you have any questions or anything else.
Thank you so much. That was so awesome. I so much appreciate everything. I will open it up, you guys, for questions. But like Heather said, just to kind of reiterate in some things, like she said, I preach to my coaches, Heather, about find your 2 people that are like top coaches, whatever, or just random people that are coaches that you relate to, and get ideas off them. And, I say it all the time, just get ideas. Don't compare, just see what they're doing and try to incorporate it in your own special way.
And can I add something to that? So
Yeah.
The other thing is, don't share other coaches' stuff.
Mm-mm.
As in like the share button. So many coaches do that to me. And there's part of me that's like, thank you. And then because you just spread my love everywhere. And then there's that other part of me that's like, I want to tell them, like, don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
We've definitely went over that. Don't do that. And I've even told them, if it's something that you like, because I heard it from Bonnie Engel, if it's a picture that Carl shares that you like or a post, take Carl's picture, post it, and like, even if you have to copy the wording, like I think for the 22-minute hardcore thing, like I did that and I shared the hardcore video rather than sharing it directly from Carl's page, because you are sending people to Carl essentially.
Right. Carl looks like the leader. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
sponsored coaches, guys. So if I don't know if Jen or Steph, I don't know who your sponsor coach is. So the same thing goes for that. Even though you have 1 coach or 2 coaches or 3 coaches and your team's not big, whatever, you want your coaches to look to you as a leader. And so even though Jen and Steph, and I don't know if there are any other leaders on this call, if they're sharing stuff, like you need to be sharing things in your personally sponsored coach page. And now I don't even add coaches to my personally sponsored coach page, but she posts some really good stuff. Shoot, I'll take that and I'll post that in my team page. Thanks, Danielle. You just did some work for me. And we get a lot of our stuff from the leadership pages. So once you get to diamond and above, whole new world, guys. You got a whole other place where you can get some really good information. So you have to, just like you don't want to direct people to other coaches, you also want to make sure that you are being a leader. It is okay that your star diamond upline is looked at as a leader. They should be, right? They're there for a reason. But you also have to be a leader. Act the part, be the part, you'll get the part, right? Back to that. So sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. And obviously I love the quotes because I am huge on quotes, and most of my team is pretty big on quotes because I think they get that from me. But I loved how, like, I share a daily motivational quote every morning, but just sometimes if you're looking for a random post, like Heather, like she said, she just posted that one quote. She didn't use the picture. She just wrote out the words and posted it as like a post on her page. I seen it before I got on the call.
Can I tell you that though? So I actually, see guys, I'm going to tell you, I made a mistake. So I found the Boss Babe one, which I follow Boss Babe stuff all the time. And I screenshotted it. And then I was like, so I do a lot of like just the writing the words on my personal page, because I just feel like I used to do the whole showing a picture. And I get a lot better response when I just do like the words now. But I have earned that. So I really, and I have earned, like, I think my following to get that. And so it's okay if you are just writing words, you're not getting any love, like it's okay to post quotes of the picture, that's fine. But I do think you should put it to your face a lot, because I do that too. Like in the morning, almost all of my workouts have a workout post, have a quote on the top, like in bold print. So it's like the first thing people see. But I want it to be me. But on my business page, I did post the Boss Babe one, literally because I was rushed. I was trying to stuff my face with my dinner. I was like trying to, get on this call. And 2 minutes before I was getting on this call, I was like, oh crap. Why did I do that? I should totally have done it in WordSwag and did www.heatherschreiber.com, heatherschreiberburns.com underneath. I deleted it real quick, and literally seconds before we got on this call, I reposted it. I did do a picture because I haven't earned my like pages, like just a word. I haven't earned that from them yet. I'm very like new there. And so I do need something that's going to grab their attention.
Yeah.
And so I reposted it with my name on it, my link address.
Well, that's what we say all the time. And I know Steph has probably, talked about this with her coaches, and I do the same with mine, because ever from day one with me, I've always posted a motivational quote at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. But I've gotten out, I used to steal them off of Pinterest and just post them on my page. And then I was just like, well, no, I listened to a podcast from Shalene about Pinterest and making things your own. So I started, finding a quote I loved, creating it in Photofy or WordSwag or whatever, and slapping on Jen Stevens Fitness to it. And those posts get shared like crazy. And guess what? Their friends are seeing something that has my name on it. And we talk about this all the time. My team knows that. They've all started practicing that, which I love. So, when your followers are sharing your stuff, they're sharing you rather than something you got off of Pinterest. So like, just, reiterating what Heather said, making it your own. We always chat about that. Building relationships. And I know for me, from my point of view, I'm sure some of you guys have followed Heather, and I've actually directed some of my team to you, Heather, to see what you do. But
what I do now is like all out of whack. It's not what I did like for 2 months ago.
But for me, like seeing you from day one to now, like the reason that I wanted you to speak on this call is because your why has always been what drives you forward in your business. It is always what, no matter what, you go forward, and that's what pushes you forward in this business. And that's what your business is about. And I just have a question for you, just because I know some coaches are probably worried about this and they struggle with this, I think. Since you worked full time, obviously, and now, I'm sure when you came home at first, you struggled with time and Nico, but would you change that freedom, being home with Nico and being able to get up and go to the park any day of the week you wanted, to being back in a full-time job and having to leave him every day?
Is that really a question?
No, I know it's not a question, but that's what I'm just saying. It to me, I think a lot of coaches are like, well, I'm still going to be working. I'm not going to be spending that time, but you still have that time that you can say, I'm going to step away.
So another Boss Babe quote that I had seen it's freedom is the real luxury. Freedom. Yes. Okay. So if you're getting into this business to be lazy and not work, you can stop now. Really, like, I'm just saying, you can kind of stop now. That's not the goal. I hope that's not the goal. You're not going to be fulfilled. You're not going to be happy. You're really not, if that's what your goal is, because I know coaches who have gotten to a certain level, who've gotten a couple rock stars under them, who make a nice paycheck, and they kind of just like don't do anything. And they are riding this emotional roller coaster wave.
Yes.
And then they're like, oh, I work out again. Watch me. Or, I mean, they're not happy. If you do the things you're supposed to do as a coach, you will continue to grow as a person. And there's growing pains through growth, but holy crap, no. So today, let me just tell you my schedule today. Woke up, worked out, drank my Energize. Oh, guys, I'm obsessed with Energize. I had 2 today, and not before this call. But then I cuddled with my little guy and I should do a whole other call on stay-at-home moms in this business, because that's a whole other thing that I'm really working through. Cuddled with him for a little bit. We got ready. I cleaned out my closet yesterday. So that was something I did yesterday, that if I worked 9 hours a day, I wouldn't have time to clean out my closet, but I got a nice pile of stuff and I was like, I'm going to go resell this stuff. I made $200 today off stuff I resold, but took him there. Then we came back, we ate lunch. I worked on my business during nap time. Nap time is like my everything. I did my devotions in the morning, all that stuff. But, and then I prepared a little bit for this call, spent time on Pinterest, ate dinner, hung out with my husband when he came home. I'm going to work tonight, but like, you have to work, right? So yesterday looked a little bit different. You have got to work. Some days it looks like an hour. Some days it looks like 4 hours. It does 5 hours, but I get to pick when that is, not somebody else. And I'm going on a free trip, and with these 2 girls, in 3 weeks, a free trip that I don't have to request time off for, that I don't have to I'll set up all my stuff in Hootsuite and be ready to go with my challenge group. Now with the app tracker, it's all there too. We can do the same thing there. Freedom is the luxury. And so back to that whole, Jen, you saying my why has changed. So my why originally was to supplement my income, to stay home with my son. And honestly, I took a big pay cut to do that, but I knew that was my sanity. That was my happiness. I needed to do that for myself and for my son and for my husband. And so I did it. And then I just went full force, all that I could, with all my might in that beginning, because it was literally like, we were down to the penny of, you don't have extra money to do anything extra, and we'll live off peanut butter and jelly if we have to. But I was willing to make that sacrifice because that was worth it for me. Then it's back up to now where it's comfortable. But my why now is like, okay, so I got that. Okay, great. But now, so then what? Do I just stay here and just hang out? I'm like, all right, well, I'm making X amount of dollars and it's paying the bills and I get some extra money, whatever. No, now I want to retire George. And so that's a whole other task. Your why is probably going to change over time, and that's okay, because you should hopefully want to keep growing in some way. But I want to stress to you that the prize is not in the end result. What you want is not the beauty of this whole thing. It's the journey of getting there. And that's hard sometimes when you're in the middle of the journey, and it's hard and it's stressful. But honestly, once I got to be a stay-at-home mom, then it was kind of like, now what? So it's like, but it was getting there. And it's like, it's almost like Christmas. We all get so excited for Christmas, or if you got married, your wedding day. And then after it, you're kind of like, what do I have to look forward to? I have to wait another 365 days for Christmas again? Yeah. This business is kind of like that. So you're going to set milestones, and it's going to feel really hard to get there. Some days you just want to say, what was I thinking? Oh my God, why did I quit my job? Oh my God. And I knew I could go back to my other job, but would I ever do that? No. And I talked so much about before, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't really talk about that much anymore, because guess what? Being a stay-at-home mom is hard, and I really don't want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want help with my son. I want to be able to attend his events when I want to. I want to be able to cuddle with him in the morning. And it doesn't matter if I start work at 9, 10, 11, 12. I want to be able to feed him breakfast. I want to be able to take him to the park if I want to. But I also want to be able to have the money to drop him off or have a nanny come to my house, which I do have a couple of days a week, to help me, to give me my alone time, because I need it. And my business needs it too. And that's okay. That is freedom. I'm still making an income. I have myself. I'm still working. Or I'm still a mom.
But you're doing it on your terms.
On my terms. That's what this business is about. It's about freedom. It's not really about making 6, 7 figures. It's about freedom of time and choice. And that is priceless. Priceless. Like I said, I'm happier now than I've ever been. Healthier now than I've ever been. And Beachbody is just amazing, life-changing. So go out there and share it unapologetically with every single person you connect with, because everybody can benefit from this. Not everybody will choose to benefit from this, but every single person can benefit from this amazing business. Don't be afraid to share the business. We talk so much about the workouts and we don't talk about the business. Anybody can find workouts and shakes and everything else. Rewind. Shakeology is the only great product out there, in my opinion. I truly believe that. And I don't think there's anything out there like it. But to the world, people just think it's a shake, right? And so people can go buy shakes. People can go get workouts, trainers, all that stuff. But they can't get the freedom that this business can offer. So I really challenge you guys, talk about the business as much, if not more, than the workouts. I fit in a post every single day about the business. And that's hard when you're new because you don't really have anything to talk about, or you think you don't have anything to talk about. You do. You really do. You just got to pull, because you can't say, oh, I made, $2,000 last week or whatever, or I earned a free vacation. It's okay if you can't say that stuff. We all couldn't either.
Yeah, like I told them, Heather, about one of my coaches, Hope, who's on the call. She said, I can't share that. We were talking about how I was silly in my closet saying I had the same shirt on for 3 days, but because it's so comfortable, whatever. She's like, well, I can't do that because I'm not just home in the middle of the day like you are. And I said, yeah, but when I worked full time, I shared this silly picture of my gas tank saying that it was I was just so grateful that I was able to fill it up with no worries because it was Beachbody Paycheck Day. And I said, those are the little things that probably are going to relate more to people than you making $2,000 a week. So, those are the types of things that I, say, share those guys. Those are the things, nothing is too silly to share. If you made $200 in a month from Beachbody, you probably pay $200 for groceries or a cell phone bill, or that's something that can easily be shared because that's what people are going to relate to.
And money is like I said, I'm making less money now than I had before. But I share a lot about the freedom of time. And so maybe you don't have that. That's okay. But you've got it. These are the 3 things you just always ask yourself. Who was I before Beachbody? Who am I right now? And how has Beachbody changed that? And you should be able to come up with a number of things like this. Like, you guys could screenshot this call right now and share it on social media and say, I love surrounding myself with positive, like-minded, motivating people. You've got how many people? Like 20, what is that? 4 and 4. So, you've got that's something to talk about, that you have people that support you. You can talk about, obviously, the health and the fitness. You can talk about, I paid my cell phone bill with my Beachbody paycheck. You can talk up anything matters. The fact that you help somebody lose weight or feel good about themselves. You have to talk about coaching every way that you can. And it's not all money. It's really not, even though, and I love that, Jen, you said this too, because sometimes even when I see those top coaches saying that they make 5 figures in 1 week, it seems so far off. It really does. And so to anybody, and if you read the strings, people say bullshit, or they'll say yeah, right. No way. No, you don't. No, we know that's true because you can, but it's really hard for people to fathom. So I don't know if you guys created your avatars, but that is so important. And I have it right in front of my desk. I'm not sitting at my desk right now, but to remind yourself, Who were you before Beachbody? Who are you talking to every day? Most people don't make six figures. Most people don't. And so, you know, you don't need to make a ton of money. And I mean, is six figures a ton of money? No, not really. I mean, to some people, seven figures isn't a ton of money, right? It's all relative, but you have to figure out who were you before? What were you looking for? And why are you here? Those are the things that you need to share.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up the avatar because we are doing we have there's a good bit of people on this call that are in our like Seeing Green Push to Emerald group, and we just did that this last week. And you know, I shared mine, and it's just people who I am now, and like one of the things that is on my avatar and always has been is a not so supportive spouse. Because when I started this business, my husband was not supportive at all. He hated every ounce of it. But now he's on board, and you
took him to Nashville. He's going to Jamaica.
Yeah, I mean, and
right?
Those were the things, you guys, that changed his mind. I took him to a Super Saturday, and he was a totally different person the next week about Beachbody. It was amazing to me. So it's just little things like that. And one thing too, Heather, that you talked about, and then we can let them maybe ask you a couple questions. But Heather had said, kind of in her own way, don't discredit yourself, you guys. You are amazing. You are worth everything that you think that you are worth. Don't sell yourself short in this business. I mean, I remember calling Heather on the phone. I asked her if we could have a chat, and we're not too far off, both of us, I think she's maybe 2 months ahead of me in the business, but joining wise. And I called her, and she said, girl, don't worry about all this stuff. Just fake it till you make it. And that's what she did. And and she did amazing at it. And that was the tip that I took from her that I will carry with me, because I'm not a top 10 coach. At some point, I pray and hope that I'll get there, but that's not my push right now. My push is to help coaches change their lives, challengers change their lives, and see you guys do the things that I know that you guys can do. You just have to know that you can do it. So when you're setting a diamond goal or an emerald goal, you can do it. And don't set this far off goal for yourselves, because you can so do it in 30, 60, 90 days, whatever. If you believe you can do it, you can do it. And it's just like Heather said, stay positive. Do not discredit yourself. I have, coaches say, I feel like I'm letting you down. You're not letting me down. I want the absolute best for every single one of you, as Heather does for her team, as Steph does for her team. We're just kind of like moms that want to take care of our babies. But
so I had a girl that wanted to quit in December. She actually is the coach that just went diamond. She wanted to quit, and I knew she was probably my next diamond. So of course I was like, really? You're at Ruby and you want to quit? But we had a talk, and I was very honest with her. And I wanted this for her because I know she wants this, not because she's going to make me a ton of money. Because guess what? I'm going to make money whether she sticks or not, because I am going to keep running this business. And so Jen's success is not really tied to any one of you. It's tied to all of you. Steph's success is not tied to any one of you. And so letting her down or anything like that, guess what? They're both going to be successful whether you are or not. They just want you along for the ride, right? And that's how I feel with my coaches too. And so you have to feel that way about your coaches, even your challengers. Guys, the challenger coach mirrors each other so much. We want to help everybody. We want to change everybody. You can't force anybody to do anything. You can't force anyone to drink a shake. You can't force anybody to work out. You can't force anybody to follow a meal plan. You can't force anybody to invite. You can't force anybody to post. You can't force anybody to talk about the coaching opportunity. You just can't do it. But you want to invite everybody, and you'll get those people that want it, but totally fake it till you make it. Because again, nobody knows all. You could look, there are some people I'm like, dang, they must be really high. And then I find out their rank, and I'm like, or how long they've been doing it. I'm like, dang, they haven't been doing this very long. I'm like, go girl. You look good. You own your stuff. Just own it. Be confident. Confidence is key.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? If you do, unmute yourselves, because I know there's a few.
My team's always so quiet after I talk. I'm like, really? I just talked for 45 minutes and now you're not going to say anything?
I think you say everything that everybody's thinking. So nobody has anything left to say when you're done.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
No. It's awesome. Anyone? Hope you're always good. Have some good questions. Dana, you guys, there's a couple of them that always have some good questions.
I have a question on how would you best describe how you do your tracking?
Yeah, so I have a calendar that I got, like just one of those ones from Target. I am organized chaos over here. I am not a Excel spreadsheet guru. I tried it. I've tried everything, guys, and this is what works for me. So I have the one where it looks like an actual little squared calendar, and so I kind of map out my like challenge group here if I have calls with coaches there. But I take the ones that then they have like the 5 or 6 lines of like the daily thing. I divide that up into 5 sections. I have new, GTKY, form / invite, follow up, and coach. So the new is just literally the 2 seconds that it takes to click on 3 or 5 people to add to my network every day. I don't think about it. I don't judge them by their profile picture or whatever. I'm just like, we're going to be friends. I'm going to try to get to be friends. So click, takes 2 seconds. The GTKY column, get to know you. I'm all about relationships. I want to get to know people and I want to figure out how I can help them. Beachbody aside, I don't want to talk Beachbody in my first conversation with you unless you bring it up or unless we talk about jobs and then I just tell you and you ask me more questions. My goal is almost to not talk about Beachbody with somebody. So the GTKY column, 5 of those a day. The next column, invite, because I'm going to turn those people that I talk to, the ones that or the people who are responding or the people that are liking my pictures and all of that stuff, I'm going to then invite those people to a challenge group or the coaching opportunity. The next one is follow-ups. Fortune is in the follow-ups. It takes multiple conversations. It does. One of my best coaches, I invited, so she was a challenger for a while, and I invited her every single month to get the discount. Every single month. She ignored every single message that I talked about the discount. And I'm thinking to myself, girlfriend, I'm going to lose money if you become a discount coach. Like, it's not like I'm trying to make money off you. And she ended up finally saying yes. And then she ended up, she's an awesome coach. So the fortune is in the follow-up. And then the coach. I have to know that I'm inviting people to the coaching opportunity. And I really beef up that column. If you want, and the get to know yous. And so the get to know yous and the coaching, like those are the big ones. And the other ones just happen naturally, but that's how I track. I just write it down. The cool thing is that I have now 3 calendars. So I can go back to last year and be like, oh man, well, I haven't talked to her and she never bought a challenge pack. And so I just kind of run through those things. That's how I do it. 5 columns and just
How long do you usually wait between the get to know yous and the actual invite, or do you kind of just get your feel?
Usually, I really rarely ever. So if I kind of felt the conversation was health and fitness related or it kind of went there, I'm usually bold and just say like, oh, you should join me sometime. But I keep it real simple. But as far as like the actual like, hey, I was thinking about you, or hey, I have this group coming up, almost always when they like a post of mine, which is why you have to post quality stuff to get them to be engaged with your stuff. Now, can you cold invite people? Yes. And there are some coaches that are great at that. It doesn't fit my personality and it doesn't fit the model of how I like to do things. And so I don't do that. I usually always message people that like my post. So that's where I find it. There's not like a day or a 3 days. Now follow-up is, I think, important with timing. If you have a conversation with somebody and they say that they're interested and then you send them, they're like, send me a little more info. I hate that. I'm like, really? What didn't you get from what I just told you? Don't you want to do this? I showed you before and after pictures. Like, what else? What more do you need? At that point, I know they're not ready. Either it's financial or they're just not sure or whatever. But I haven't sold them or convinced them that this is for them. So I need to do a better job. But I follow up with those people within like 2 or 3 days, especially, if it's timing wise. And that's an easy one because you just simply say, hey girl, I know you were really interested in joining my March group. I'm super excited to have you. I just wanted to remind you, you're going to want to order your goodies before the group starts. Just to make sure, should I still save your spot, or, do you want to wait till April? I don't say, or have you changed your mind or anything. I just assume they're always going to be in a group. If it's not March, it's going to be April. If it's not April, it's going to be May. If it's not May, it's going to be June. You're going to do it. Trust me, you're going to do it because I'm going to keep being here. And the cool thing about this business too, and I don't know if Jen or Steph, you can attest to this, but I just got a message today, like you have people that circle back around. And I know one thing that a lot of coaches say now, it's like, oh, there's so many coaches. Well, guess what? So many coaches quit. Guess what, guys? Those of you that are the warriors and that are the fighters and that are not going to give up, you're just going to absorb all those people that had those quitter coaches who quit. There will never be too many coaches, ever. There just won't. There won't, because people quit.
Carl's mission is to have everybody to be a coach and have a coach. So yeah, I mean, you're right, because proof is in the follow-up, like Heather said. I talked to Steph today about this because I had a girl, you guys, I messaged her just a random invite one night, then left it alone for a little bit because I talked to her a couple times, left alone, messaged her a private message because I'm like, this is someone that I don't want to just say happy birthday on her page. I want to personally message her because I want her to talk back to me. So I personally messaged her happy birthday, wished her a happy birthday probably 3 or 4 months ago. Last night before I went to bed, I was like, I wasn't feeling invites. I did not want to do it, but I promised Katie and Steph that I was going to get invites done. So I did it, and I wasn't going, and I didn't feel like doing it today and making up yesterday. So I did it, and she was one of them. And this morning she messaged me back and said, it's funny that you asked me that because I have really been thinking about this. And guess what? She signed up with a challenge pack as a discount coach today. And
time is everything. And you just never know what's going on in somebody else's
And you can't discount anyone. You just can't.
Not inviting somebody is making the decision for them without asking them.
Exactly. The same thing, with coaching. Like, don't size them up and think, oh, they wouldn't like this. Because if my coach would have done that, or if she would have, and that's the other thing, when people say no, still be friends. Still show the same interest you were showing, because hopefully it's genuine. They will come, people can sense that stuff, and they will come around. I just had a girl post on my thing today. She's like, I miss being part of your team. Well, there's plenty of room. Come on back. Like, you're the one that quit. I didn't tell you were kicked out.
You really have to. And the funny thing is she had told me, and I said, I just built that relationship with her because that was the first time that she had a real conversation with me about health and fitness. And I just said, what do you like? What do you want to do? And did you have a program in mind? And she was just like, not really. Can you give me some info? So I started asking her questions. And I said, when she answered, I said, 21 Day Fix would probably be, really good for you. And she said, that's funny that you say that because my mom had it and she let me have it today because she finished it. And I said, oh, so you just really need the Shakeology. And because she was all for Shakeology. And I said, well, I can't let this conversation go by without letting you know that the sequel to Shakeology is on promo this month. And you can literally get an entire program for $10. And you'd be silly not to do it if you're going to get Shakeology. So, we went into talking. She's like, yeah, that sounds great. And then she goes, isn't there an option where I can sign up to be a coach and get a discount? I'm like, yeah, there is. Absolutely. And she did. And it's never always that easy. It's very random that it's that easy. And I was shocked that it was that easy, but it happened and she's excited about it. And it was somebody that I wasn't going to message because I'm like, the last time I talked to her, it was iffy, but it was just a birthday message. So it wasn't but don't be guys, don't just, if you think it's somebody that you want to talk to about a challenge pack or coaching and it's their birthday, send them a message privately and talk to them. That's a great way to start a little forming.
Yeah. I've seen people's birthdays. I'm like, dang it. Today's not a good day. I can't message them about the challenge.
I'm going to join my challenge group.
but I'm gonna write your name down, and I'll probably catch up with you in a couple days.
Yeah. Well, that's a great way, honestly, that I have learned that like that's a great conversation starter. It is because like you wish them happy birthday and then
What do you want for your birthday? I love birthdays. Yeah, I did that with a girl. Yeah.
it's a great conversation starter. It is. And then you just kind of can go or, I, like Heather said, don't be afraid to talk about the business. I talked to some girl the other night at 11 o'clock on a Sunday and she was just like, she randomly messaged me and I was like, hey, what's up? She's like, how are you? And I said, just trying to get some work done. And she's like, God bless you for working this late at night. And I'm like, that was my way to say, well, that's the freedom of my business. I don't have to wake up tomorrow and I get the majority of my stuff done like on Sunday nights. So it's just those little like breadcrumbs that you give people.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah. Does anyone else have any questions?
I think a couple other people, and I'll stay on here as long as I could talk about this business all day. Like, this is like my passion, obviously.
Just unmute yourself, you guys, because we don't mind. Anyone? Take her.
I don't know. It says GINNOVX. I think you had a question.
Yeah.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, it's Erica.
Hi. I knew that wasn't your name.
Oh.
I didn't know what your name was.
Yeah, so I like the idea of doing motivational posts every day. Normally, I just do one on Monday, and I have like a picture of me working out and then a motivational quote. But the problem with that is I always feel like I have to say something profound and meaningful and heartfelt and with that, and not just put like a quote up. So.
Yeah, I know that. I will tell you one of my biggest not that long ago, I was doing something with the resistance bands and my son was down on the ground playing with his little truck and I just posted dumps like a truck, thighs like what? That's all I put. It was like, because he was playing with his dump truck right there. I had it blew up. Like I literally was like putting that together like last second. I was like, whatever, it just works. I can't think of a motivational, really inspirational quote. And I was like, let's just sing a little bit this morning. And it just like tons of people were like liking it. I think a couple people shared it. Yeah, I know we have that pressure to like always be like, oh, like this is why I'm coaching. And it really isn't. It really isn't. And you'll be surprised at like what you share, that the private messages you start to get. And they're like, man, I just posted something the other day on my like page. And she was like, wow, that's crazy. That was the first thing I saw when I opened up my phone. And it's just what I needed. And you know what? You might not be reaching 300 people that feel that way, but the fact that you've reached that one person, that's a win. That's a win. So it never has to be profound. And honestly, where I get my quotes, what I post about is what's going on in my life, in my journey. And so I'm always looking up quotes on Pinterest or Google or whatever. And maybe it's my health and fitness. Maybe it's my emotional stuff. So literally the quote that I posted right now was one of the ones I shared with you guys because I love that one. So it's never like I'm like trying to pull stuff, like what's going on in your life? Like what are you, because that's really what you want to attract, the people who are like you and who are going to resonate with that quote that made you think like that's good. So it doesn't have to be like a 20, and trust me, I have wasted so much time. Oh, what can I tell them today? Just post or don't post, like don't just post to post, but that's the other thing that like, and I'm sure you probably do this, but like screenshot get on Pinterest that one time and from this little thing that I just did.
Post.
Yeah, I screenshotted like 10 things. And so I'm like, hey, now I have some ammo when I have those brain farts and I can't figure out what to post. I'm just going to post that. Same with pictures. You can do that with selfies too. Like you have a good day where you feel like you look good. Take a couple pictures, switch out some shirts, maybe pull your hair. Like just have them ready. So
I think what it comes down to, Heather, and you could probably attest to this as Stephanie can, is I'm sure everybody on this call can, overcomplicating it's just, I think a lot of people just overcomplicate the business in itself and just are like, because I did it at first. I sent my coach Allison every post that I was making. It was like, is this okay? Am I allowed to say this? And I'm like, she was just like, it's fine. Just go ahead. Like, and it's overcomplicating, but like that picture I posted today of me and Brad with our 365er cups. We took that last night. I posted it this morning, like, because I knew I wasn't going to be with him this morning because he goes right to bed when he gets home, or, and like,
Yeah, people are paying that close attention to your stuff. They're interested in
and plus, who pays attention to me? I wear the same clothes for like 4 days in a row, so you're gonna see the same clothes in my pictures. But
I have not washed my hair in 7 days, guys. That's the only reason I'm wearing a hat. 7 days. I got my hair done last Tuesday.
That's so funny. But like you said, like, honestly, since I've been working at home, like in the mornings, I do personal development because we're on Facebook every day. You guys know it's draining. I get up in the morning and I don't even turn my computer on. I don't look at my phone. I sit in my bed, or if this is too much information, I'm sorry guys, but when I go to the bathroom, because Shakeology does its thing every day, there's a book in my bedroom because it goes right to the bathroom with me in the morning, because guess what? If that's when I get my personal development done, that's when it gets done. And it gets done in the morning, and then I'm good. I'm fueled. I get my job done on a computer. And at night, I sit on my phone and I go through Instagram and look up quotes. I go through Pinterest and I screenshot them all on my phone. And then when I wake up the next day, I have quotes. I have things that I'm not just like fumbling with my computer after I'm done with my personal development. I can get on. I'm like, this is what's going to be posted, and it gets posted. And it's like, I'm a hot ass mess. I don't plan anything. Nothing is planned. I used to plan more when I worked full time than I do now.
I was going to add, I think I said this last week too, like when I have days where it's like, I want to post something, or I have a picture I want to post, but I don't know what to say with it. Like, don't force it, because when you force it, people can tell and nobody's going to interact, and you just wasted your time. So there's some things that I post, and like Jen said, the cheese ball picture, like I wanted to make this great.
Yes.
Like, I had all this stuff that I was going to post about it, and I was like, free 2-year-old.
Heather, did you see that post?
I don't know.
It had like 300 likes on it. Like a whole big tub of those Sam's Club cheese balls, and she dumped them on top of herself on the floor. And I was like, that's great. That's awesome.
I'm gonna go back to my work.
I think the best posts are the random ones, the ones that just happen for your life. It really is. It's those ones that like that's what people want to see, your life. It's like guys, this is our chance to be on the real world. Like, who did not want to be on the real world growing? I mean, I wanted to be on the real world. Minus didn't want my parents to see any of that stuff, right?
You're like the Real Housewives of Beachbody
People want to see real.
Yeah.
So those random posts that you do are usually like the best ones. Sometimes you're like, what? People like that? I just spent like an hour writing that other thing, and you pay attention.
Yeah.
And about like finding things, I spent like 10 or 15 minutes today. Like, I saw some page that like posted some really funny thing, and I just started like hitting the over button on my computer, and I probably saved like 25 things just because I just started looking. I was like, wow, I really like this one. Have they posted other ones like this? And saved like a million things. And I was like, wow, that's
absolutely cool. Steph, you and I talked about that, because I will post the most, and I talk about it on my one-on-one calls with some of you guys, and I will post the most random things. Like, I think I made a post of like a quote of, don't let anybody tell you your leggings are pants. You don't need that negativity in your life. That got like 105 likes, because I'm always like talking about leggings or my pants on my page, and my people know that. But like things like that, but those are the little things that aren't Beachbody that you're sharing. They're still bringing people to your page, and you don't have that weird feeling of, I can't message them and say hi to them because it's random. Like,
yeah, and it breaks things up on your page.
Yeah, so I'm doing a course on how to build my like page, and so a couple tips for you guys, free, don't have to pay for the course. Doing polls. So I just posted yesterday about toilet paper, and I don't know if any are on that page. It has, first of all, it reached 6,119 people. It had 115 comments and 32 likes. And so it was literally about your toilet paper roll, front one, back one.
I commented on it.
Yeah, like 100. I mean, that's people love to give their opinions. So then once I did like bathing suit, Someone said, how do you do polls? So it's just like a picture, like a square of, I don't know if it's going to be too.
I'll find the post and share
There,
it.
it's right there. So that's it. Or like I did a bathing suit. I was like shopping for bathing suits and I just found 2 cute ones. Which one do you guys like? People love to give opinions. People love, and humor. People love humor. So you have to break it up with like other stuff to really engage your audience. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Hope, did you have a question?
Yeah, I do. So this kind of goes back to, so Heather, I know Jesus too, right? Love him to death, right?
My home
So
girl.
somebody told me that, like, this is our business, right? This is our business, and so I shouldn't mix too much of Jesus with my business. So, well, I hear that. That's why I was sitting there like, really? So yeah, so I try not to. I mean, because he is who I am, and I do a little spurts. But I keep it very minimal. So I see that you don't, because I kind of like was scrolling through your page and you don't. So you don't see a problem with that at all.
Yeah. Okay. So that's being true to yourself. And that was, so I had an epiphany, and I'll just share this because our 3 vital behaviors of coaches, I was like, holy crap, that should be my 3 vital behaviors of a Christian. You know, I am like, okay, so if I'm okay with like being proof the product works, and Jesus works, guys.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to invite people to a challenge group in the coaching opportunity, I need to be inviting people to why I truly have joy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then personal development, that's just reading my Bible and spending time with God. So I had a personal conviction about my faith in that. And I was like, oh my, I'm trying to build this business and quit my job and do this full time, but I'm like totally not being true to who I really am. But whoever told you not to talk about your faith, I do say you can't jam anything down people's throats, because faith is such a personal thing. I was raised in a pretty strict home. Love my parents, they're amazing. But you know, I was like not allowed to do this, and then I went crazy in college and did all that. And so I've refound all that stuff myself. But I don't ever want to push stuff on people, but this is me. And so if you are an atheist, you probably wouldn't fit well on my team. Not that I don't love you and that I don't think you're awesome and all that. It's just that like you probably aren't going to like what I talk about a lot, because I talk about my faith, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Same with, you know, somebody that can't relate to you because the toilet paper roll thing. If you're a 3 or a 4, we're not friends. I'm sorry. I just can't be friends with you. Right. So it's okay, but that's what makes the world go round. You probably want to attract people that have that same thought process as you, or those same things, because you're just going to work better together. It's totally okay. Not everyone's going to like you. You have to be true to yourself. I will say my business changed when I started to incorporate, my faith into it, because I felt like I was making the difference that I wanted to make. And for me personally, I knew that if I was going to make this my job, I needed it to be something that glorified God. So that was me. But I don't ever say, you're all going to hell if you don't have Jesus in your heart. You know, that's not what I'm going to say. Or but I do share little tidbits of my faith, because that is so who I am. It really is. So yeah, you totally can share anything without, with class, really.
Yeah, right.
I do a lot of mine with just, it's totally, because you probably are feeling held back. And that is where I was feeling between my business page and my personal page for like a hot second. And then I had that come to Jesus moment, like, no, girl, like this is you. You need to just be you. And
you share like your fashion when you're going to church, which I love, like, because somebody like, and it's awesome but that's something that you share, and that's your Sunday thing. And
it's the only time I get a shower and get to my hair and makeup and like put on normal people clothes. Otherwise I'm in yoga pants, and I wear this to church a lot too. But
and believe it or not, people ask her to do a YouTube video on how she does that.
I got my hair cut. I got like 4 inches cut off last week, and so it's really not working very well to what I'm used to. But my messy bun, it's my most viewed tutorial on YouTube, and I look like a hot mess in that video. But
I love what you said though, Heather, honestly though, and you guys, anybody who's in our little Emerald group that we're doing, we've talked about today, we kind of went over being vulnerable and sharing that one big thing that, because I think everybody gets that disconnect between what did Beachbody do for me in the now. And I know for me, like I was with Nikki yesterday, and that kind of is what brought on the post in the Emerald group. But I have shared things that happened to me in college. You know, I was in an abusive relationship, and he took so much out of me and took so much of me away. But when I had Beachbody, and it found me, like I got that person back. And I shared that with them today. And I'm like, you know, you guys just have to not be afraid to be vulnerable, because believe me, my husband was not happy that I shared on Facebook that I was in an abusive relationship, and that because he's like, people are going to think that's me. And I'm like, no, nobody's going to think it's you. But like,
It wasn't him?
no, absolutely not. No, God, no. I met Brad in high school. And
I'm totally kidding.
yeah.
I would have.
It just, you know what I mean? Like, it's things like that. Because I've actually had some girl who, when I did share that, she kind of steered me away from sharing it at first, because, and people like that drive me crazy, because I shared that, and that was a very hard thing for me to share, because it took a lot for me to tell my parents that was happening. And
My mom's like, you did what in college?
And like,
She
it's
knows
just because my mom was there. Like, she thought he was like the greatest thing on earth. And you know what I mean? Like, it was hard for me to share that publicly on Facebook. And then some girl messaged me and said, why would you compare those with Beachbody? It has nothing to do with one or the other. And I'm like, clearly you don't understand, because it absolutely does. Because Beachbody showed me that it's okay to be that person that I once was, and that everything that he took from me, Beachbody gave back to me, my confidence, my happiness. And even though I was with my husband still at the time, and I lived a great life, I did, but I didn't have that me. I just didn't. And the positivity and the support of Beachbody just brought all that back. And I'm back to that person that I was. And so those things, guys, when you talk about your why might be to stay at home for your kids, but it's always going to evolve. Like Heather said, it's always going to be changing. And it's okay to share things that happened in your past, because I've said it on past calls. There are days that are just like a punch in the gut every single day in this business. And personal development will get you through it, but sharing it, and you know, there's a reason you're still here every day. There's a reason you come back to this. There's a reason a coach quit 6 months ago on my team and came back to me and said, I couldn't stay away from this because it's the positive thing in my life. So that's the kind of stuff that you have to dig down deep and pull out.
Yeah, if you're just talking about workouts every day, your business is going to stay so surface. And if you want a surface business, that's okay. You can probably hit Success Club. You can probably, earn some extra money. You might get to the, I don't know, whatever, like $1,000 a week or whatever. But until you really dig deep, if you are just posting surface stuff, your business will stay surface. If you want to go deep, you got to go deep. If you want to make this business, and it's not to say put all your dirty mess out there, but it's breadcrumbing. So like my high school picture of me as a cheerleader, like I weighed a lot more than I do right now. And so the first time somebody tagged me in that, I literally had like, oh my gosh, like I can't even believe I look like that, and whatever. But then I thought, no, that's perfect, because that girl who was so really, nobody knew I was insecure. I was a cheerleading captain, and I've had so many people from high school message me like, I had no idea. We're much more similar than I thought we were. Exactly, right? We all have our demons, and we all have our things. And so I'm sure, Jen, by you sharing that, you probably gave some other girl who's in an abusive relationship that to get out of it. I shared something about a toxic relationship, very similar. It wasn't abusive. It was just horrible. I don't know what I was thinking, but I shared that the other day that, and it really has not, Beachbody didn't change that, but Beachbody brings things full circle. And so I think, dig deep, just dig deep. If you want a deep business, you got to go deep and show people the substance. There's got to be substance in what
Turn the mess into a message.
That mess into a message, trial into triumphs, victim into a victor.
Yeah.
So my girl, Hope, I love your name.
Thank you.
Share what is you, because otherwise you're never going to quite be there. And and if you don't, pray about your business. Even this morning, I was like, God, you know what? Just whatever you want me to post, whatever you want me to share, like, and I am really working on a lot of other stuff, like just during my day, like how I need it to be structured to be successful and to have my sanity, because I'm running at 100 miles an hour all the time. So if you have faith and you believe in God, pray about your business. It will change it. It will totally change it.
Yes. Perfect.
Any other questions?
Anybody else? You have been amazing, and thank you for staying on with us. I appreciate it so much. And
this is I love this.
I know you do, and that's why I love you. But yes, thank you again so much. And thank you guys for all getting on. We're going to respect Heather's time and go let her spend time with her bow chicka wow wow. Because I'm sure we're
trying to make baby number 2.
we're working on baby number 2.
No, but I want to leave on this note. Like, no matter what you view of like anybody else that is somewhere where you want to be, and maybe you're looking at me and thinking, oh, whatever you're thinking. You might be thinking I'm crazy, and I am a little bit, but we are I'm no different than anyone else on here. I have just really worked on my personal self. It all starts with self. And when you, like I said, when you are more confident with who you are and your decisions, other people's opinions don't matter. And that is what's going to let you take your business to the next level, because you're looking for people that you want to be in your tribe. And those people are going to be the people that can relate to you. I am no different than any of you. I am way different than who I was 2 years ago. I am way different. But I'm no different than anyone else. Just find who you are and be that person unapologetically. You have an amazing gift to offer people every single day. You have the ability and the gift to change somebody's life. Don't take that lightly. That invite could truly change somebody's life. If I could, can I close with just this?
Absolutely.
Because, this is one of the messages that I just received the other day, and it like had me in tears. And I want you to know, like, this is what you could be receiving if you're not already receiving these kinds of messages. And I am just little Heather Schreiber from Washington, Pennsylvania. I live in Texas now. But I always say that, like, I'm nobody special. You might see that like fancy picture of me on my Facebook page, but like, I don't look like that on a regular basis. Okay. So let me open this document. Oh, let's see. And I've got tons of them. So let me scroll down here. Hold on. It's like uploading. Okay. Hello. I'd like to take just a few minutes to tell you that I appreciate everything you do and have done for me. 7 months ago, my life was in shambles, and I didn't know which way to turn. I was so unhealthy and unhappy. I didn't have a support system in my husband. Instead, I was put down for exercising and trying to eat right. He liked me fat so no one else would look at me. He actually said that. It was a truly horrible time in my life. I left my husband the beginning of December. My life has done a complete 180. I'm starting to love myself and everything about me. The stress I was enduring was breaking me down. I feel like the weight of the world has been lifted from me. I just want to thank you for what you do for people. You are so encouraging and enthusiastic about what you do. You taught me to not only live a healthy, clean eating lifestyle, but also to love myself and be a confident person. I truly appreciate you and everything you do. My life is better because of you. Thank you. Guys, that is crazy. That is what you have. That is the gift that you can give somebody. And I can tell you right now, she's not even buying anything from me. She's bought Shakeology once or twice or whatever. She is not even buying anything from me. I don't
need that positive light.
I don't need her $30 a month. That message right there is why I coach. That's it. And you have that same opportunity if you find who you are, you share that unapologetically and authentically every day, and truly love people, love on people. We need more people in this world that are truly lights. And that is why my team is Team Radiance, because this world can be a dark place, and you have the opportunity to fill somebody's soul up and to give them life again. So go out there and do it every single day and know that you have a gift. Don't be afraid to give it. All right.
Thank you so much. Yes, you guys be that positive light for people. They need that. And Heather, we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye. Have a good night, girls.